Morning, everyone. We're going to start our meeting. I know we're a few minutes late. We had some technical difficulties again. I'd like to call, first, before we call the meeting, I'd like to ask our spiritual advisor, Merlin Deegan, to say a few words of prayer for us to start our meeting in a good way. So, be good, Merlin.
Looks like it's going to hurt, but can I just ask her to tell us?
Very good, Merlin. Thank you. Next up, we'll call the meeting in order. It is 9:24 a.m. Michael, do you want to do roll call, please? District 1. Here. District 2. Here. District 3.
Here.
And I'm here, Mr. Chairman. We have a quorum, which thank you. Next up is review and approve the agenda. I guess I have a few signatures and ratifications. We have 5 new signatures, 5 ratifications, and I'll read those off here when we get to that point when we do the consent agenda. So those are my additions for this. So.
You added what?
The signature stuff.
Okay.
Ratifications. And also we have to add the waiter and Ada Wash pilot study on the water. I know we got Mr. Matt Smith here from Water and Sewer to talk a little bit about that. So that'll also be added too. So, and then, yes, and then also we'll add property and casualty renewal. Our property insurance runs out tonight, so we have to get it renewed today. So, very good.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Can we add a recommendation for the Chief Justice to new business? Letter of support?
Any additions or deletions? Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Eugene.
Second.
Second by Annie. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have a review and approve the meeting minutes for 5/24/23 and 6/20/23.
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, motion by Annie.
Second.
Second by Eugene to approve the meeting minutes for 5/24/23 and 6/20/23. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Rich. Next up, we have the consent agenda. And I'll read that off to everyone here. Hold on a second here. We have Okay, and like I said, that we have CEIMG grant extension, Monoman Homeless Shelter, Elder Home Repair Project, notice of award, Data Wash Health Center certificates of substantial completion and resolution, childcare license variance, letter to request for AFC FY23 discretionary fund, tribal fire prevention and cooperative agreement, MDH Eliminating Health Disparities Initiative funding, Quaco office lease agreement, FHPAP accept funds, weatherization contract, child care assistance program, state opioid response grantee, sub-grantee, NRCS Wapas Trail, White Cedar Planting Conservation Program, memorandum of agreement on pesticides application certification, and also memorandum MOA between Indian Health Service and Waiters bank project. So, and also Apex Engineering Group. Now the additions we have. Is WeDOT, we have Strawberry Lake. What's a change order? Next up is Christina Olson, a homeless program, half policy procedure application input legal. That is a funds, app funds. And the next one is approved for the contract for services for lobbying. Next is MDA grant amendment, MDH, Minnesota Department of Health. And the next one is we're at Housing Travel HUD VASH renewal grant application. And then the ratifications we did this past, between last meeting's proposed application for Monoman, White Earth RBC elects to receive state aid, White Earth Band certificate of enrollment for the tax agreement, substantial completion of White Earth Web and NHC, and the fishery storage building that was ratified. Any questions on those, council?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
you have the occupancy, I trust occupancy and this ratification as well.
Which one was that now, Lori?
That one's the occupancy, approval for the Native Wash Clinic.
Yes, that was in the consent agenda, I think. That was on,
Financial completeness.
Okay. Yep, you're correct, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
okay. All right, motion to approve the consent agenda.
Chairman,
Yes,
there's one item on the consent agenda that we want to table. The elder homeowner repair award and bids.
Yep.
We want to talk about that, don't we, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, Henry? And Annie?
yes,
Because those bids came in way too high.
yes,
They didn't come in, we allotted 20,000 for each homeowner,
yep,
and one is at 40,000, so.
okay.
Is that what you guys want to do?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're gonna meet next week anyway, so,
Let's table that one.
yeah, we'll table that one out of the bunch, so. A motion to approve the rest of the consent agenda with ratifications, with changes.
Motion.
Motion by Mike, second by Eugene, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Aye. Motion carries, thank you. All right, well, thank you on that one. Antonio, everything good on that?
So, Mr. Chairman,
Thank you. All right, next up is the Elders Council. Do we have anyone here from the Elders Council?
So I talked to Sam this morning, he said he wasn't gonna be here. So.
Yeah, Sam and I didn't see Tito, so, but they'll give a report next meeting. I think our July meeting will be our quarterly meeting,
Yeah.
so, but then next up on the agenda, we have the Elders Commission. I know we have a commissioner here, so.
Don't we have an extra mic?
I
Where's the
think
mic?
I could
Right there.
Open it up, but
We can hear you just fine, but online they don't hear you.
oh, okay, that's it. Big witch. I'm Pam Espinwall, and I just wanted to report on a few of the things that that's been happening on the commission. And most urgent, the first and foremost is replacing the vacancy that we have from District 2. And per our bylaws, it states that we must have an election. So what we discussed and opted to do from our meeting was to follow the simple procedures that the White Earth Constitutional Reform Delegation did, where they were very specific about District 3, I believe. And so yesterday at the Elders Picnic, we just announced, and we're going to, blast it out there, in District 2 and take nominations. And we received 4 last night, or yesterday, so that was really, really good. So that's where we are on that. I wanted to give you just an update on the National Indian Health Board Conference because none of us was able to attend the State of the Nation, but also we weren't present later that week for the Tribal Council meeting. And what I'd like to say is, as you all know, it was a scholarship opportunity for us, so there was no cost to any of us, which is really nice, and we had Laura to thank for passing along that information. And we just briefly reported on, well, besides attending the conferences in different areas, domestic abuse, the DOUD program, murdered and missing women, the drug crisis, we did report that the White Earth Nation was very efficient because it was based on the COVID crisis, and we said that our nation was very adept at getting everybody possibly who wanted it to get vaccinated and protected, especially our elders. So that was really a good thing to report. We have it's not really a web page, but hopefully it's a tab that's going to go on the White Earth Nation site for elders specifically. And it's going to be simple. What it would be is a brief description of the services that are available and specific to elders and a contact information. If you wanted to see what we stole it from Leech Lake. They have a great tab. You click on it and it drops down and all the elder services appear. So it's a one-stop place for elders and those who care for elders to find information. We had our June business meeting at BIMAD, is it? I can't say it, BIMAD. Yes. And they have some issues there, so we have Commissioner, 2 of them, who's going to do a little investigating on their own too, just to see how it's managed and the on-site management. But that's it, and I really appreciate the time.
You good?
Thank you.
Pam, I got some questions.
Yes.
This right here.
That's under new business.
Is it?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I got some questions, so if you want to grab your mic.
Okay, okay. Take it back.
Setting it down.
I got 2 questions, and I'll be very short.
Okay.
The first question is your membership or your voting members. You have members for each district, correct?
Yes.
And you have an at-large voting too?
Yes.
Okay, because Yesterday at the picnic, I got a question from the urban office. They were wondering how they could, if they could, have a voting member on the commission at an at-large position. So I don't know, you'd have to take a look at your bylaws and see if that's available to do that. Because we do have the urban office, we have the Cass Lake office, and normal, and some of our boards and commissions, we allow those at-large positions that would be able to be off the reservation, voting members. That would be my first question. That wasn't short, so. But if you could look into that?
I will look into that because I'm all in favor of having off-reservation, participation and representation.
Okay.
So, yes.
My second question is under new business, you have, you put your National Indian Council on Aging
Yes,
application membership dues. That, you did get your budget for that, right?
yes,
And this is coming out of that budget?
yes,
Okay, thank you. That's all I need.
okay.
Thanks for your report. Just leave the microphone over there so it's, Matt's gonna be talking next year. All right.
We don't need to talk about that.
No, we don't need those.
Okay, we can scratch that then.
There's no action on it.
Okay.
Okay, next up is the Pine Point Township Board request. Is that pilot study, Matt? You know, or that's?
No, this is that, I don't think it's Pine Point. I think it's that, what's that, Carsonville?
Carsonville.
Is that Carsonville,
It's their township board.
their township board?
Maria, do you remember what we?
They wanted like, how much, 32,000?
I did, Mr. Chairman, I did, at the last meeting, remember, Mike, we talked to them about looking at, why they're not paying Carsonville, because most of them are housing houses out there. So if we can just table it again until we get an answer from them, that would be great. Otherwise, me and, the secretary treasurer kind of spoke a little bit.
Yeah, we
might
talked
have-
about it. We'll have to
yeah,
table it one more time.
yeah.
Okay, we'll table it again. Thank you, McVich. Next up, I have the PNC. Tracy, do you want to say a few words? I know that,
One second.
that our property and casualty insurance is running out. I know that we usually have our this process is something that we do on a biennium. I think we do that.
I'm sorry, are we insurance?
No.
About the insurance, yeah. And all we're doing is renewing our insurance for Brown and Brown to cover our property and casualty, so. Council, did you get any questions on the renewal of the policy with our property and casualty?
I know.
Motion to approve the renewal for our insurance for our buildings.
Motion.
Motion by Mike,
Second,
second by Andy, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Next up is the letter to support for Chief Justice, not Chief Justice, but for Ann McKay, Lori.
Excuse me, Chairman, what was the question?
The letter of support.
Yep, it was emailed out to you this morning, Antonio reviewed.
It was on the consent agenda, it wasn't added,
Oh, okay, it was on the consent agenda,
So
okay.
that's on
So
consent.
it's already done?
unless you guys want to discuss it.
Okay, any questions on that letter for us supporting Ann McKay, the council?
No.
Good. Okay, Meekwich, thank you. All right, next up is the pilot study. Matthew, Michael.
Morning, Matt Smith, Assistant Public Works Director. I was asked to do a briefing or an update on the pilot study, for White Earth and Data Wash. The pilot study was done, the main goal was to see if the biological treatment was suitable for primary source of water treatment, White Earth and Data Wash. Just in a nutshell, I guess. White Earth and Data Wash currently use non-biological treatment. That basically means use chlorine and a media called anthracite. To remove iron and manganese. That's kind of the main source of our complaints. All our drinking water systems are EPA compliant for the Safe Drinking Water Act. The main complaint is the iron, the rusty water, orange water. The main goal is to see if this biological treatment is better than what we currently have. And we ran biological and non-biological, so they both effectively remove the iron manganese. But the engineer, both the consultant, Apex Engineering, and IHS engineers, recommended we do stick with biological for white earth and native wash. Just because it was so effective. And we have to remove ammonia and TOC, it's total organic carbon. With the non-biological, that after time that kind of seeps through water. With this biological, we'll have better treatment in the longer run. So what we're planning to do is we keep moving forward with the biological study, or the biological plant. So the change order is being signed today to continue design. And the hope is that we have shovels in the ground next year. We'll have 2 new water plants in Nadawash and White Earth in 2025 would be the completion date. So with the biological 50% removal in Nadawash and 40% iron removal in White Earth. So we had really good results. So we're excited to move forward with the treatment.
Just one question, I had an elder come up to me at the Pine Point picnic yesterday, and he had a bottle of water from Pine Point. It didn't look good, he said he got it from one of the wells, one of his tap water at his house. So you can get a brief update what you guys are doing in Pine Point too?
Yep, Pine Point, we're contracted with Apex as well, for the community side. I'm not sure if it was his own well. I mean, there's programs with IHS, if they have their own well, they can apply and, we'll come out, sample it, and they can get a softener, arsenic removal, stuff like that through IHS. Pine Point, we're about a step behind the Nadawash and White Earth plant. They presented us some treatment option, so we asked them to broaden their scope a little bit to provide us more options for treatment. Where the price tag was a little too hefty for what we wanted to do, so we wanted to see some different options. So we're going a step behind the Pine Point. We'll have a new water plant in Pine Point in the coming years too.
Thank you.
Same with the Chippewa Ranch. The options we have, we're kind of see the number of homes the Chippewa Ranch has. We don't know if it's going to be a fundable project with about 4 or 5 homes. So that's something that you can discuss moving forward with the ranch. While running down the communities, Rice Lake, we are doing new water filters that'll be installed in the next 2 weeks. We'll have pretty much essentially brand new water treatment in Rice Lake too. So, yeah, and we've got a couple wastewater projects too. We're doing with IHS, I think the ranch in Rice Lake. Pine Point as well.
What about Elbow Lake?
Elbow Lake, we're hoping to do some PER to put new water main in. We put new water softening filters in like 2 years ago. It's the water main. We can't adequately flush the system because there's not enough storage in it. We've got an 80-gallon tank in the water treatment plant. So I'm hoping we can hire an engineer to design this new distribution system to get rid of the.
Now, when you said water softeners and that, are the individuals,
Yeah.
they can get that themselves, or?
If the guidelines are if the homeowner, if they own the home and land is in their name, they can apply.
Okay.
And if they have a parameter that comes back high, IHS will come in and treat it with water softener. Arsenic removal, reverse osmosis. We'll kind of tailor what they need, the homeowner needs.
So now when you talked about changing the filters, that's a change in the filters at the main plant, at the main?
Yep.
Okay, right. And those are, what's the lifetime on them? Or what's the timeline on those?
For which?
Or how long do they last? Whatever.
Well, if you, these newer ones will probably last like 20 years.
Oh, okay.
We'll probably have to change out the media, like there's media inside the filters that
Okay.
we can change out after so many years. That's kind of, it all depends on the manufacturer pretty much.
So with the Elbow Lake one now, back to that, the 80-gallon, is that bigger then or no?
size wise, I don't know. It's basically, it's set up like a small, like a big home. I've got 2 big pressure tanks. 80-gallon pressure tanks. So it's set up similar, like if at your home you have a blue tank in your basement, that's pretty much how I've always set up. There's really not a lot of storage. So fire hydrant, we can find everybody out of water in 5 minutes. Cause there's no storage there.
There's no water tower out there?
I think that's something that we can probably plan for with your guys' team to look at, working with IHS and their monies and looking at the committees that are probably more in need of like the demand that we just talked about, that if there's more demand than what we're storing, then we should look at our alternative options of looking going back to IHS for applying for a new, actually get a water tower out there, so.
And also, you know, with the Riverland apartments and the houses over there, I think there was some talk a few years ago with other tribal council members, that probably about 10 years ago maybe, about maybe applying for a water tower over in that area. So
Yep, I remember discussing that.
Okay.
It's-
we could probably circle back to that, you know, and see if that still is, if IHS will provide a.
It would still be, I mean, it'd be a larger project because, yeah, the city of Manila would be okay with us breaking away and still using their sewers, so you'd have to build a wastewater treatment too. So it'd be both water.
Be both, yeah. And I think that's where we're kind of looking at. You know, I don't think we need permission from the city of Manila, actually, so, but, I know that they're providing water and sewer to there right now, so, thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Matt. Thanks, guys, for the report, so I appreciate it. That was the last thing on the agenda here, so any other questions, We'll move to executive session, motion to move to executive session. Motion by Mike, second by Eugene, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Big Rich, thank you. We'll move to it. Thank you everyone for being on today.
Should we give them some time to?
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna eat here at 11:30, so if you wanna come back, you can.